Megamind, an incredibly smart send-up of the superhero genre. Indeed, this is to superhero films what Monsters vs. Aliens is to B-movies from the 50s. A loving send-up that's clearly a satire, but is also kind of its own thing. It takes the basic story of Superman, though in this version Lex Luthor is also an alien, so I guess he's sort of a fusion of Lex Luthor and General Zod, and does something new and clever with the story. What if the villain finally defeated the hero? And at first, things are great for Megamind as he is now free to cause anarchy, but he soon grows bored of having nobody to challenge him. Megamind sort of reminds me of Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. He's technically evil, but he doesn't actually want to cause permanent harm. His evil is more of a game for him and his nemesis. The writing in this film is incredibly sharp. The banter between Megamind and Metro Man is hilarious. Even more so because for the most part it was ad-libbed. Apparently there's like 30 minutes out there somewhere of Will Ferrell and Brad Pitt bantering, and it only stopped because Tina Fey eventually intervened. Which brings me to another point, which is the character designs. Every character looks like their live-action counterpart. Okay, Megamind not so much. He doesn't really look like Will Ferrell. But everyone else looks like their actor, especially Jonah Hill. I think this movie was honestly ahead of its time. This was released in late 2010 when the MCU was still relatively in its infancy. The Dark Knight trilogy hadn't finished yet, and we weren't getting like 6 comic book movies a year. I do see some of the comparisons to Despicable Me, but only because this movie was released like 6 months after that movie. But honestly, other than the concept of the villain turning into the hero, they're very different. Despicable Me was more of a spy or heist movie. This is very much in the realm of comic books. It's clear the writers were either huge comic book nerds or took the time to do their research because there's quite a few Easter eggs regarding comic books and characters. For example, one of the characters in this movie is named Hal Stewart, and if you're a Green Lantern fan, you'll recognize that his name is a fusion of Hal Jordan and John Stewart, 2 characters who have become the Green Lantern. The writing is incredibly witty, the whole movie is just so fun, though there is one slight plot hole at the beginning to set up the plot. Apparently, if a baby lands in jail, it stays in jail. But, this movie's a comedy, don't read too much into it. I highly recommend Megamind, one of Dreamworks' most underrated films. I would give Megamind an A-, a 9 out of 10, and a 4 out of 5 stars.